Okay. It says okay. There we go. Now we are live.
Okay.
There we go. Receiving you are live. Okay. It says we are live.
Link. Okay. It's taking a while to refresh. I think we are.
Fuck it up. Let me refresh this son of a bitch. Oh, it's not showing for me.
Not showing up either.
It will. Oh, yep. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Got it. I'm gonna share it right now. Share on Facebook, Brian.
Do it.
Don't have
I'm
it.
gonna share on Facebook right now. I'm gonna reverse the camera, okay?
So much showing.
All right.
Odd.
God damn it! Let me lower this damn thing.
Wait, what, you have it? I don't have it.
All right, I have the chat right beside me. I will be able to look at the live chat from
Let me reverse the camera now.
All right. Let's do it. It's good. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream. We are currently at 0 viewers.
Actually, have 3 right now.
You have 3? Dang.
Oh no, it's the 3 of us.
Well, yeah, no. Well, not me.
I'm
not viewing it. I'm not viewing my own live stream.
Or there's another person on. Yo, it's Matthias. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, hey.
Oh, Eugene is here.
It's okay. It's okay.
No.
It's all right. It's all right, guys. It's all right.
Boys here.
Guys, it's all right.
It is
all right. So first of all,
right.
let's go. First topic. We were talking about Gentle Giant. Let's get right into it. First of all, I want to make my first comment.
More people.
Well, I mean, well, it's all right. I think we can make do because it's a live stream, so people will view it after it's aired.
That's fair.
So first subject that I wanted to get into was Gentle Giant, and we've all been listening to them quite a lot in recent days now.
Right.
So you said you were listening to you listened to Acquiring the Taste and Three Friends yesterday night. No, 2 nights ago?
No, it must have been like 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago, yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I mean, for me, those are both really good albums, but holy crap. What were your 100% thoughts on Acquiring the Taste and Three Friends?
I mean, to be fair, I still want to take, a couple more listens really to actually formulate complete thoughts about both of those records, but I did enjoy them. I enjoy Acquiring the Taste a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, both great records. I think Acquiring the Taste is becoming a favorite of mine, but I don't want to say anything definitive until I've done at least 5 to 7 listens. And I can really have the songs in my head. Yeah.
I think that when it came down to it, I think that Three Friends was for me a very easy to get into album. It was easy to listen to. It was easy to get into. There were some more accessible songs like Peel the Paint. Those.
All right, we got our boy Fred here saying Three Friends is their masterpiece.
I would say that it's definitely a pretty good album. It's definitely a pretty good one, but I wouldn't say it's one of their easiest albums to get into for sure. Peel the Pain is very
I like it.
Very rocking. It's a rocking song for sure. But I think that probably, and I completely agree with my dad on this, is that Acquiring the Taste is probably their most difficult album to get into.
Mm-hmm.
It has a tonality and it has a lot of atonal. It's so atonal that in some ways I can understand why people I can understand why.
I mean, I got into it pretty quickly. I think
the thing. Oh, go ahead, Ryan. My bad.
Mr. Fred says they put the passion and it's overrated. I'm gonna have to hard disagree on that one, my man. Octopus is start to finish a great record. Every song is great.
Okay, I want to make sure that no matter what happens on this live stream, everything is civil. I want a civil conversation from anyone who comments.
Yeah, sure.
Civil conversation
I would love,
all the way.
I would love the audience to...
I'll just say this: it's not overrated. Some albums are definitely people have the habit of saying things are overrated when they're not. Sometimes you might say people only pay attention to a certain album. A lot of times, that's true. even though the band has other great albums. I think that's what happens with Gentle Giant and Octopus. A lot of people just pay attention to Octopus when you have Freehand, when you have The Power and Glory, when you have Acquiring. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and Acquiring is more like, for people who are more into the atonal thing, the more like jazz fusion.
Way
kind of like
way more atonal classical, for sure.
Classical and the other stuff. Go ahead.
I would also I'm going to go ahead and say this. As much as I do have my love and respect for Octopus, by the way, maybe you should take another listen to it in recent times. Maybe it'll click with you now. But I think that the problem with it is that Octopus doesn't exactly feel like a unified album. It feels more like a collection of songs on one disc. It doesn't feel like an actually formulated album, which is my big problem with it. Which is why it's probably my 4th or 5th favorite. I like The Power and the Glory, Freehand, Acquiring the Taste a lot more. And those ones are, it's got its Octopus has got its weaknesses because of its flow, but it's definitely not a terrible record. It's not my favorite by any means. It used to be because I only listened to that album, but now it's not my favorite anymore. Probably The Power and the Glory is my favorite now because you have so many great songs on there that, you have Playing the Game, Cogs and Cogs, Aspirations, and Proclamation, all those great songs. You can't go much wrong with that album.
No, I would agree.
Not at all.
Yo, my friend Vince is in
Hermes?
here on the stream. Hermes, my man.
Hermes band.
What's going on?
That's my cousin's name. Cool name.
Go ahead, Ryan.
But yeah, I would agree. I would agree with Matthias. Acquiring the Taste he says it's one of his favorites. Yeah, it's one of my favorites for sure. Great record. And then Fred says, Three Friends, my favorite personal. I'm the same way with King Crimson Islands. It's their best. Nothing else by them I like. Hard to disagree on that one. I'm a huge fan.
Okay.
Islands is a great record.
Islands is a great record.
Acquiring the Taste for me, the reason why I got it so much, I think, I don't know if before, I'll tell you when. I just started listening to Allan Holdsworth.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was probably like a year I've been listening to Allan Holdsworth. He was like really like getting to that kind of fusion sound.
Yeah.
So once I got really into it, that's when I tried to listen to that album, because until then I listened to Power and the Glory, Octopus, and Freehand.
Yeah.
Because Mike Portnoy suggested that band to listen to. And then I finally listened to that one. I'm like, you know what? If I listened to that album probably like before I got into Allan, I would have probably too atonal, whatever. Like sometimes Zoltan says, people think it's dry, mechanical, or too many chord programs. But it's like you said, no, it's not. It's warm. If you know what you're listening for, if you acquire the taste and you attune your ears for that kind of sound, it can be very, very warm. It can be very how can I say?
Pun intended.
Mystical. Yeah. It's mystical.
Pun intended there. Pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Fred says.
What was the pun?
Fred says Holdsworth is good when he doesn't use syntax. Same with Matheny. Soft Machines Bundles is Holdsworth's best playing. Period. Hold on. Wait. Have you guys? I want to make sure. Have you guys listened to Soft Machines Bundles?
Yeah, I
was talking about bundles. I said the no about the Holdsworth good when he doesn't use the syntax. No, I'm a huge Atavachron fan.
I love Atavachron. It's definitely the most tasteful use. For me, Atavachron is the most tasteful use of the syntax. But the problem is that sometimes on albums he does overuse it a lot. Same like Sand, he used it a lot, just way too much on that album. I think that he overused it on his last two albums as well. No, just his last one, Flat Tire. Allan used it way too much on those two. And I think that that's what brought it down a little bit. I do love Holdsworth. I'm not going to go ahead and say that I hate Holdsworth. I do have to agree with you with that one. I do prefer the clean tone stuff because it's a lot more Holdsworth. I mean, I know Holdsworth for stuff like UK where he's using that clean tone guitar tone that he's very famous for. But
It's not a clean guitar tone. It's a distorted tone, but it's a normal
it's
guitar
got a
tone.
little bit of a crunch. It's a little bit more of a crunch than it is any distortion, because I don't think he was actually able to use distortion. The other thing that I was going to say,
it is.
But
I do.
An overdriven tone.
I am gonna say this though. I do
Yeah.
prefer Matheny syntax better than Holdsworth. I'll be honest.
that's a take, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this
Not
on.
necessarily.
The,
He's
Take or a hot take.
it's not a hot take. It's just a take. By the way, Thiago,
a take.
Thiago,
Take it.
your window is making your camera go in and out of focus.
Okay, want me to close that stuff?
Yeah, there's like a sound coming from somewhere where it sounds like the ocean. It's weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a fan. I'm gonna turn it off. It's my fan. I'm gonna turn it
Fred says,
That's why I asked.
But yeah, about Holdsworth. About
That's why
Holdsworth,
I
I wanted to
asked you
say that
my fan.
oh,
that was impossible to understand.
All right.
Go ahead.
yep. So I wanted to talk about UK. UK is probably my favorite Holdsworth release. Definitely better than any of his solo records.
That is a.
Sometimes Holdsworth's records are just very hard to listen to. You can listen to UK any day, to be honest.
Well, to be perfectly fair, I can kind of understand where you're coming from on that one. I do love the UK release. It is probably my favorite Allan Holdsworth stuff. Oh, Fred says the UK is amazing. Perfect. There you go.
It is.
I'll say this though. I've listened to so much Allan Holdsworth solo stuff that, you have to be in the right mood, and it's just the problem is that I'm usually in that kind of jazz fusion kind of complicated mood a lot because I like that kind of stuff. I grew up with it. I mean, I grew up listening to Angligard. I grew up listening to Angligard, for God's sake. So, I've always been in that kind of more complex mood where there's a lot of things going on. And Allan Holdsworth is probably, for me, when it comes down to it, he's, as much as he is a technical beast, he also knows what he's doing in terms of changing chords. He can change chords on the fly and act like it's nothing. He doesn't even think. He just plays the shit, and he just knows what he's doing throughout everything that he does. That's why I think that when it comes down to it, he's a genius when it comes down to that.
My man Vince said, I've yet to listen to Holdsworth, but I've heard great things about him. So right after the stream, go listen to the UK album. That's a pretty good introduction of Holdsworth.
I'll say this. If anybody likes UK, and Holdsworth solo stuff, you definitely should listen to the other band he has, which is The Hand. I tell that all the time.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to them yet.
Haven't listened to them yet either.
Yeah, definitely. Check it out.
And Matthias says I need to listen to UK soon, I think. I was going to do one for one of those listening parties we were doing, but then that fell by the wayside. We've been busy. Yeah.
Fred said Ralph Towner, check him out. He's all acoustic, hands down best jazz guitarist acoustically. Interesting. That's an interesting.
I've never listened to them.
Perspective. I've never listened to him either. I'll take a listen. I'll listen to the one Aryan album you recommended to me a few weeks ago. Okay.
I recommended that Vince listen to the Human Equation. Yeah.
Oh, the Human Equation.
I've only listened to. I listened to it like once.
You know what the weird thing is? The weird thing is that after a while, as much as I do love the Human Equation, I actually found that my favorite album by Aryan actually might be The Theory of Everything. I actually think that one actually might be my favorite.
That's a beautiful album. I can see why you would favor that. Like, knowing you, I can see why you'd favor that.
I don't mind the fact that you have Devin Townsend on harsh vocals, which, by the way, I think that when it comes down to it, Devin Townsend, I'm gonna say this, he actually really sings. That man can sing. He's a good singer, and he's a good screamer. Holy crap, that man can scream. But I think that for me, it was tasteful there. But I think that for me, I liked. Fred said, I love 01001 by Aryan best.
What's that?
For me, it's
yeah, I can understand that. What would you say is their weakest album?
I don't know. I think
To me, I'm gonna say this. I might actually have to say that maybe their debut is the weakest.
I was gonna say that the debut was like it's funny because I listened to that one probably like 2 songs before I went to the Human Equation because my friend was saying need to listen to Arian. So when I listened to the 2 first songs on the debut album, I was like, okay. And I told him like, I wasn't really into it. He's like, okay, last chance though, check out Human Equation. And that was like, holy crap, that's that's a whole lot of difference, night and day difference.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know,
I prefer Stream of Passion stuff.
I like them. Marcella Bovio, Marcella Bovio was one of the girls who sang. I don't if you guys know the song "Pain." I am pain. I am
yeah.
not a dream. Know that song?
Yeah,
she's the one that did the vocals. I think she was Love there. Yeah, she's like I think a Colombian girl. She's like a Nightwish style singer, and she's in another area song called "The Valley of the Queens," which Floyd is there, and Annette Grisbinson, something like that. I forgot her last name. She did 3 God singers, and Marcella's there. So my man is right. Stream of Passion was really good stuff. The guitarist was really good to Lauren Lidstrom, but I think they're done.
Yeah.
Many years ago
I'll go ahead and put this on the record as well. As much as I do love the Human Equation and Theory of Everything, another album that I actually finally got into, and this one was an unexpected one because I didn't think I would actually like it all that much, but I really enjoyed The Source. The Source was a great listen for me. I was very into it. I was like, ooh, Lee, this is a different level of Arian that I haven't heard yet.
See, I just cannot contribute to this conversation because I've only listened to the one album.
Yeah, fair enough.
Human Equation?
Lucason's Reel to Reel, what are your thoughts on that one? Okay.
What is it?
Reel to Reel. I haven't checked that one much yet, I'll be honest with you. I would definitely give it an honest listen because I know he's coming out with new stuff. He announced a new album.
Yeah.
But Reel to Reel, I think I only listened to 2 or 3 tracks. From what I could tell, it was good.
Yeah.
From what I can remember, it was really good. But I need to go through the whole thing myself. Then I'll let you know.
All right. We got a good question here. Question for whenever you all answer it. What albums are coming out that you all guys are excited for? I can speak for all 3 of us. I know we're all excited for the Hacken release.
Oh, yeah, the Hacken release for sure. Because after listening to the newer 2 singles, I was very into those ones. Invasion was definitely the heavier tone that I really, really loved. And I think that one. I'll say this. I still slightly prefer Canary Yellow. I like the Riverside tonality of it. I like the harmonies. I liked everything that was going on. I did not like Prosthetic very much. I thought that one was kind of too it was too genty for me. It was almost Gojira. That was almost bordering on Gojira level.
Gojira
with a little bit of it
wasn't genty at all. It was 4/4. It was more like Gojira death metal stuff.
That's I'll go ahead and also it sounded a little bit too much like Devin Townsend stuff as well.
He did.
I can sort of see that, yeah.
Me is the new Nick DiVirgilio album, Hackin' Magenta, new Rick Wakeman, new Neil Morse solo album, and upcoming Flower Kings and new Tangent. Yes,
about that Rick Wakeman album. I've been hearing a lot of good things about that one.
But which one?
A lot of my friends. Which one? The Rick Wakeman.
Yeah, it's
And now they're saying the Moss Troopers. That's definitely going to be the best release of the century. Best release ever. I heard the guitar player is really, really good. He's amazing. I
did.
He's better than John Petrucci.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I did see.
I heard he's a.
I heard
he's a bit of a simp, but he's a great guitar player.
Yeah. I saw the album cover for the new Tangent album, and it looks intriguing. I was not a fan of Proxy very much. I did not like Proxy very much, but I am actually very very intrigued about that one.
Steve,
Also, I did
Pineapple
hear
Pig.
that I think that Steve Wilson has announced that there might be a new Blackfield album this year. Which, by the way, I love Blackfield. It's everything that I like from Porcupine Tree, but in a totally different project.
I gave up on that guy. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry, me too.
from what I heard,
Yeah, but
from what I heard, the new Blackfield album is supposed to be produced by Alan Parsons.
Ooh.
well, I mean, produces something, but I mean the composition. That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing. I mean, and apparently there was a demo that was leaked, and it sounded very, very retro Porcupine Tree.
Another album that I've been.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah.
The good retro, the bad retro Porcupine Tree, because each album they released back in the day.
I'm talking stuff like Signify.
Okay.
And by the way, Signify is my third favorite Porcupine Tree album, so I cannot
Wow.
I cannot complain.
Hot
Love
take.
Signify. Hot take, not really.
A little bit for me.
Not well for you, and then it's not a take.
I'm a heavy prog.
I know, but I also love Pink Floyd, and I grew up with that. So.
I love Pink Floyd too.
Oh, yeah.
I like Pink Floyd more than you do.
I
just like when
I'll be
bands have an
honest.
original sound.
I think
I'm
that
a real fan of their heavy stuff, and Anesthetized got to be like my favorite heavy stuff from them. But I'm not really big to the heavy stuff except like Arriving. But I'll say this: I'm into their more like melodic rock stuff, like Russia on Ice, Trains, Heart Attack by the Lay-By.
so
like that. You know
In
what I mean?
Absentia and Lightbulb Sun.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them. Probably my two favorite albums. I
I'll-
do like Deadwing too. I'm not gonna lie. These are third.
I like Deadwing a lot.
I'm not saying.
I was not. I love Dead Wing a lot, but I think that it has its issues. It definitely has its problems. For me,
Well, it's more sentimental to me because it's the first album I ever listened to Porcupine Tree.
yeah,
More of
I
a
understand
sentimental
that.
thing. more than
As his
my
favorite Porcupine Tree album is either The Incident or In Absentia.
And
Two great choices. My favorite is In Absentia.
Fred said
That's a great
Signify and Stupid Dream are tied for first. I'm a
Great.
huge.
Dream.
For me, those are tied for me as well. But I think that The Incident is just
I'm a big
slightly
Stupid
better.
fan.
Same with In Absentia. In Absentia has always been my number one because it was the one that I started off with. However,
Right,
true.
after listening, and Fear of a Blank Planet was my second listen, and it's tied with Fear. Oh, he's not
like Fear.
He's not a fan of Fear. Which, to be perfectly fair, I mean, I understand why that album can be an acquired taste for some, and I know a lot of people who do not like that album very much, simply because it's definitely not the Porcupine Tree that they grew up with, like Stupid Dream and Signify and all those kind of bands. So I can understand why Fear can be an acquired taste for some.
Okay, Matthias says there's a Kansas album coming out as well, but I haven't really been following them that
Yeah,
much, so I don't know how that's going to end up. I heard it got delayed, too.
Yeah, I try to listen to it. It's more the same old shit. I'm like,
Yeah, from what I heard of their last few records, it just seems, 4 chords that made a million is what makes Lightbulb Sun less weak. Okay, makes sense. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that
That actually makes sense.
From what I've heard of the new Kansas record, it just sounds like they're regurgitating the same stuff that they did when they were in their
Same old stuff.
90s.
Of course,
and
but they lack-
early 20s, and
They
early
lack
2000s.
the two good singers that made them a great band, and
Yeah, and I don't even know if Steve Morse is in Kansas anymore.
Steve Morse, you mean on that's not Steve Morse. Steve Morse is Deep Purple.
No, Steve Morse
You're
worked with
thinking of,
Kansas a lot.
Steve Walsh.
Steve,
You're thinking about Steve Walsh.
As far
Steve
as
Morse
I
is in
know.
Deep Purple and the Dixie
Listen,
Dregs.
hold on.
Steve Morse,
I'll check.
Morse has never been in Kansas.
I think
you're
that he
wrong.
worked with them once. I think I might be wrong, but I'll check. I might be.
Steve Morse for me.
it does
Dixie Dregs, Deep Purple.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Steve Morse.
let's keep talking.
Come on.
Fred says he's heard the new Kansas and it's amazing. Yeah. I will give it a chance when it comes out.
I knew it. I knew that Steve Morse worked with the Kansas a lot. It does say that he worked with Kansas a lot. So I wasn't wrong.
But like when?
But I wasn't. I don't know. I can check. Oh, he rates the new Kansas 3.5 out of 5. Out of 5, probably.
Who?
He was in Kansas briefly in the mid '80s.
So I wasn't wrong, but I wasn't exactly right though.
Yeah, it's like okay, he was in that band for like a hot minute.
Well, I mean, still, it counts.
Sure,
Prelude
okay.
Impact, a Prelude in
Right.
Okay, Implicate. I prefer more over New Kansas.
I haven't listened to either, so no.
Actually, this is whoa. Favorite concept album.
Favorite concept album. Oh, you don't know my favorite concept album.
That's not even a question.
It Scenes from Memory.
And mine's not even a question either. It's The Lamb.
There's a couple. So let me say the Scenes from Memory by Dream Theater.
Yeah.
The Lamb Lies Down by Genesis.
Yeah.
Tales from Topographic Oceans by Yes.
Yeah.
Oof.
Tales is fantastic.
Is Sgt. Pepper a concept record?
It is.
Sorta?
Sgt. Pepper
Sgt.
is.
Pepper is
a concept.
It's kind of like a discombobulated. Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon is another discombobulated concept
No,
record.
the Dark Side of the Moon is all concept record. That entire album is concept.
It's all concept, but it's not a lyrical concept record. In that
it
sense.
very much is.
It's not like what I'm saying. It's not like The Lamb, where The Lamb is a story. It's like It's a listen that's like it's all thematic. You know what I mean?
I see.
That's what I try to mean by that.
Be My Pain.
I know Pain of Salvation.
By Pain of Salvation,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I started listening to Pain of Salvation.
Vin says, "Yeah, yours is like ingrained in my mind."
Yeah.
No, like I said though, like I started listening to Pain of Salvation the same time I started listening to Flower Kings.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
I had bought the Elements of Persuasion disc by James LaBrie, his solo album, and it was by Inside Out Records, right?
Yes, so, it was.
When you look at the back cover, he had like the other prog artists that he was featuring. Flower Kings and Pain of Salvation was 2 of them, and everybody told me if you like the Flower Kings, you're gonna like Pain of Salvation for sure.
So they're similar?
Not really. I've taken a listen to them myself, and I didn't really find any similarities. They do have a few.
Which albums did you listen, sir? I listened to the entire discography, and I can tell you there's some similarities.
I find that there was a few albums. I can't remember exactly which ones, but I knew it was there was a two-parter. It was a two-parter album series. That was released.
Fred says, I love the conceptual theme behind Octavarium, my favorite Dream Theater album. Well, if you're talking about the conceptual theme about the key signatures that they were doing, then I guess that counts. But it's not a concept record like we would say like The Lamb is, or like Scenes from Memory.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But I will.
There's a concept, but it's not a. For me, it's not a concept album. But I know what you mean. It's a great record.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and say this as an actual concept piece. I think that probably one of my favorite concept pieces of all time has to be the 12-Step Suite.
Here's the thing about the 12-Step Suite for me. It's like, as a listen, they're all great. But if you listen to them back to back, it's not great because it's like so similar. It's just the same track over and over again.
It gets repetitive. Definitely.
It gets repetitive, especially by the end.
That's true. 12
That's why I like
steps.
Repentance, because Repentance is different.
Repentance is very different, yeah. I will go ahead and say that some of my favorite songs are off the 12-Step Suite. Like I'm a huge fan of The Root of All Evil. Love that song.
Glass Prison.
Glass Prison has to be my favorite of those.
Me too.
I mean, for me,
I think The Root of All Evil was too much Pantera to my taste.
It has a little bit of that, but not necessarily from what I listen to.
The main riff is 5 minutes by Pantera, if I'm not mistaken.
It sounds very much like that.
I remember that they said they wrote The Glass Prison after Petrucci and Portnoy went to see Pantera on the what's that? Reinventing the Steel tour.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, what I say, The Glass Prison has nothing to do with Pantera, and like Root of All Evil has a lot to do with Pantera. The Glass
No,
Prison
The Glass Prison is a Pantera rip.
Fred says Neil Morse.
What would you say? Because I never heard what's his face? Dimebag Darrell doing anything that intricate.
No, but I'm saying it was an inspiration to like the groove. You know what I mean?
Right. I can see that. Another thing that
I got Pantera would do stuff like that. A new metal kind of thing.
The Glass Prison like I personally don't see similar. I see more similar to the Root of All Evil.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the? I'm trying to figure it out. Hold on, I'm looking through my phone here for a second.
What are you looking
I want to make sure that I'm getting these right. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. I believe that the one song that was in 12-Step Suite for Train of Thought was no, I'm not. I don't want. Yeah, I knew it.
The Dying Soul, yeah.
Yeah, this Dying Soul. That one's also really
that
good.
one's a Pantera riff.
That one is so true.
Actually, it's a Steve it's on the Fire Garden album by Steve Vai. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Big time. Steve Vai has the same riff, the proggy. Like Steve Vai got very prog infusion in the Fire Garden album. And I forgot the name of the song though.
Yeah, the Shattered Fortress. That one's good too.
That one's just a summary.
Yeah, the Shattered Fortress is like an Easter medley for the 12-Step Suite. Kind of like.
It is very true. That's very true.
Vin says, I'm excited for the new John Petrucci solo album. Me too, man. Me too. It's been a long time coming.
We'll see.
I'm hoping it's good, but I think Petrucci's become a little too pentatonic.
I'm just afraid he's going to do pentatonic galore there, and I'm not liking the new Petrucci. I just hope he's back to his old form.
I think if you really listen to the new album, he's back to old Petrucci. Like those solos on Untethered Angel and stuff like that. Like that was old Petrucci.
That was very old Petrucci. Yeah.
It was old Petrucci with his Phrygian and his cool little licks.
Right.
Horse the Warrior, great solo.
Like
yeah. I will say this, that for me, Petrucci has his moments where he just he has his issues. He's for me, he's a bit of a control freak. He doesn't know when to stop. He doesn't know when to stop. And that's why I think that Dream Theater needed a break for a long time. They would have been better if Portnoy stayed and if they just took the hiatus. And apparently, according to Portnoy, they would have been.
I would just say he's the only person that cares at this point.
The problem.
I think Labrie is collecting a paycheck at this point. I think Myung is collecting a paycheck. Mangini is collecting.
Well, but the thing is, Ryan, I will have to say this: when it came to selling out, Petrucci was right there along with them. Portnoy was the only one saying, "I'm not going to sell out, and I'm not going to do this kind of music."
When we think about the history, like say, like the Falling Into Infinity album, like I can definitely see that.
Another thing that
Petrucci's done a lot of commercialized metal, in my opinion. That's why I'm really disappointed in him when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's commercializing as much as he's willing to listen to the industry.
Yeah.
That's commercial.
Okay.
Just said in other words.
I will say
I just like Petrucci too much. I don't want to
another thing that I am
but the thing is, you gotta be able to criticize your hero. Like that's what I learned to do. Like like my man, like for example, like I said, the crazy pentatonic stuff, and I saw that stuff going down since Systematic Chaos and Black Cloud Silverline, especially that little solo-y or riffy part on.
Yeah.
This is like a gothic Stravinsky style song here. Scary as shit. You're gonna do pentatonic licks, bro? All right. This is why Portnoy said we all need a hiatus, bro. I think we burned out. But Zoltan,
you were definitely burned out creatively. I think that's what happens when you're in a band, you're touring. It's like tour album. They were super burned out. Okay.
I-
Young is undermixed. How he put up with abuse is beyond me. You can't hear one bass line unless it's falling into infinity. 100% agree. We were talking about that the other day.
That
Me
is
too.
so true.
That is very true.
Young,
He's
you
really
can barely
undermixed.
hear him in the mix. That's why every time I do a Dream Theater remix, I'm always boosting up Young so that you can hear
Turn
him.
up the bass.
And I mean, even
Turn up the
Ryan,
bass
you were very happy with that. I mean, you said that Young was very prominent in the remixes that I did for Dream Theater, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think Young plays his ass off. It is a crime that he was turned down so low. Vince says, the day Young speaks a single word is a day 10,000 puppies appear in my house. Yeah. Have you seen that video?
Bro,
he's really antisocial.
I'll tell you
When
this.
they were doing the distance over time, and there was the Inside Out guy came to their cabin or whatever to talk to them. And Young was leaving. He was leaving. The Inside Out guy was talking to him. He was going upstairs. And it says, it was a comment that said, a wild Jung Young used flea. Like a Pokemon meme. Whatever.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
And you know who inspired him to pick up the bass? You guys know who inspired him to pick up the bass?
Chris Squire.
Chris Squire, right? No?
Yeah, Chris Squire.
Jaco Pastorius.
Jaco
No.
Pastorius?
Not even Chris. Chris was later. Jaco Pastorius.
Bruh, how can you be a Jaco fan? Jaco would never have put up with
He
that.
never did a Chris Squire tribute whatsoever. He did a Jaco Pastorius tribute.
That is true. I did see that, yeah. I'm also going to go ahead and put this on the record that I did hear that if according to Portnoy, the hiatus that he wanted was not 5 years. Apparently that's a myth. He said that it would have been a hiatus of any time period. Of like even a month or even a couple of even a half a year, he said would have been better.
Zoltan, he's saying his audio cut out.
Wait, what?
I think you got a call
Oh
in.
no!
No, yeah, I think it was a call coming in and he has to reject it.
Shit.
Okay,
Okay.
he's out, so he's gonna come back. Yeah, he's gonna come back. But keep saying.
Do you want me to bring him in?
Sure.
Okay. Well, God damn it, Ryan.
Okay, I'm
he's
back.
back. Okay,
There's my man.
there he is. All right. So, so what I was saying was that according to Portnoy himself, he said that the hiatus that he wanted for the band would not have lasted. Apparently, it's a myth that he wanted a 5-year hiatus. That is a complete and urban myth.
Bro, Grant's in the call. Grant is in the call. I'm not the call. Grant's in the stream, bro.
Grant's my man. I think he won like 2 years maximum, something like that. Something just to get his mind back together. Because he wanted to focus on the project. He said Dream Theater was burnt out. Now,
Yeah,
Liquidation
It
Experiment,
was.
all the other side stuff, he said, we're not burned out there. We can still do stuff over there because he haven't done that in years. But the Dream Theater stuff, we are burned out. Now we can do Liquid Tension. Petrucci can do another solo with Jordan Ruders or his own solo album. Maybe LaBrie can put out another solo album. I don't know. Mayan can do Jelly Jam, whatever he was doing before.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was so much stuff they could have done. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Dream Theater, the band Dream Theater itself, he was burned out. But go ahead.
I will go ahead and say that I find that when it comes down to Dream Theater, that after Black Clouds and Silver Linings, they started to have a little bit of a decline. It just started going down a little bit faster. I know that actually, after listening to it a lot more, I've actually become more of a fan of this album than I used to. A dramatic change of events, I actually find is a pretty decent album. It's pretty good, but it just loses.
Dramatic turn of events.
That's what I said.
You said a change. Whatever. I don't know. I had to
sorry,
correct you.
if I said that, then that was my bad. Sorry. I find that one actually, I feel like that one was trying to recapture the magic, but without Portnoy, it sounded a little bit flat. It just didn't come out right, and it just didn't sound. It didn't sound proper.
It just was very derivative. It sounded
was
like Images and Words too.
That was the thing. I think that would have been It would have been better if Portnoy had been on it. Another one that
because we've discussed this ad nauseum. Portnoy was the she was on the rioting, but Portnoy was definitely that sort of director figure that he would, arrange and he would figure out the concepts and stuff.
I will also say that the self-titled Dream Theater album, just for me, is like it was definitely showing it was definitely showing where the band would go with the next album. It had that orchestral, it had a little bit of opera, and I was just like, this next album's not going to be good. And then lo and behold, The Astonishing is released, and then, well, we all know how bad that one is. And, well, that one is probably their worst record. Probably their worst.
Yeah. All right, we have a question here, because we've talked about Dream Theater a lot on these podcasts, so we can move on. People's favorite 2020 albums so far this year. For me, it's Caligula's Horse.
New Caligula's Horse. Rise Radiant.
Really good.
Fantastic record.
Really good.
However, we have to listen to this new Hacken album from beginning to end. So, the Pattern Seeking Animals. I haven't listened to it yet. I haven't listened to Pattern Seeking Animals just yet, but I will definitely get onto that for sure.
Grant says mine probably will stay as language until I'm done with college. Well, of course. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
What do you guys think of the new? Did Riverside release a new album this year?
No, they're recording one. They're recording one. They're in the works right now.
One still, right? Oh, yeah,
it's in the works right now.
Oh yeah, definitely Caligula's Horse so far until the new Hacken comes in. Then we'll see.
I think that the one thing that I liked a lot about Caligula's Horse is that they had a lot of references to older prog stuff, and they actually found that...
Those two covers.
I mean, it was a really, really good stuff. New Trivium. Oh, yeah, the New Trivium I loved. I loved the New Trivium. Fantastic record. That one was... That one's in my top 5. I like the New Trivium very much. Very great. Great album. I think
what we could do right now. We could do Would You Rather's, the prog versions.
Okay. Commenters, everyone, let's do it. You guys give us some Would You Rather's.
Prog related. Or music related.
Yep. I'll go ahead and announce them out, and then we'll have some we'll give us some discussion as to why. Arabs and Hacken or Dream Theater. Oof.
They're the same.
For me, Dream Theater.
For the father-son.
It's like asking, is it?
You want the father or you want the son?
You're asking for. Are you like strawberry or raspberry? That's the question.
Right, pretty much. Well,
for me, Dream Theater. I think Dream Theater has more of a unique sound. Whereas, let me just explain. Dream Theater is more of a unique sound because they were the progenitors of that sort of style of prog metal in a sense. Whereas they took it a step further from Queensryche into the virtuosic, jammy stuff with those big concepts. But Hacken is definitely a band where it's like if you like retro old prog, they wear those influences on their sleeve. Whereas Dream Theater is very much like they had their sound and they just stuck to it. They have their original sound.
I'm not going.
So, yeah, for me, Dream Theater.
Matthias, I'll say this, Matthias. So far, Dream Theater, but because Dream Theater has been messing up a lot, and Hacken hasn't really messed up so far as an album. So I'm willing to say Dream Theater for now, but let's see, like in 5 years or so, I might change my opinion, man.
But so far, they haven't released an album as good as A Scenes from Memory, for my money, so far.
I don't know. I think that for me, The Mountain is, in my honest opinion, I'd rather listen to The Mountain.
Oh, okay. Grant says, I like this one. So I think I know Ryan's answer, but favorite cheesy Dream Theater lyric?
That's easy.
Bar and none, the Count of Tuscany.
Count of Tuscany, for sure.
Let me introduce you to my brother, a bearded woman, historian.
Oh, this one. Oh, we got a big one.
Accent.
We got a big one. Would you rather Yes, Starcastle, Glasshammer, or Drurid?
I've only listened to one of those bands.
Honestly, I'll go ahead and say Yes, but I love Starcastle just as much. I do love Starcastle. I think that they're the American Yes, and they really did.
Good, but I gotta go Yes.
I'll go with Yes as well because my third favorite album of all time is Close to the Edge, and my second favorite is love Close to the Edge. So Opeth or Devin Townsend?
Opeth. I didn't even need to think about that. Okay, somebody else has a question. Like, would you rather listen to like a prog song or I don't know? Somebody else asked like way before.
It says, would you rather not listen to prog for a month, or only be allowed to listen to one prog song for the rest of your life? I would say prog, not for like a month, not be able to listen to prog, because I could listen to fusion records and classical.
Yeah, same here.
Exactly.
So true, so true.
Same here.
And then I could just be done with that month and then go back to listen to prog.
True.
Which
so
I think
true.
February for me, I was listening to more Snarky Puppy and Allan Holdsworth in prog. So,
Yeah,
I will say the same. But the next one was Fred, I have to say that for what Glasshammer is now, their last 5 records are nowhere near what Yes used to be. For example, Chronometry actually has more Tangerine Dream, has more Van der Graaf Generator. I would actually go ahead and say that they're not as inspired by Yes as they used to be. Lex Rex was definitely their Yes clone album. But the next one was Opeth or Devin Townsend, and this is not even a question for me. Opeth.
Me neither. Opeth.
Not even a question. I don't know what it is.
I've never gotten into Devin Townsend, to be honest.
Me neither. I tried, but I couldn't.
I can't
I
get
mean,
into
that's not
Devin
the guy
Townsend.
question.
I have a gripe.
I have a good one.
My first
Opeth
Devin.
or Jethro Tull?
Jethro Tull.
Now, like for example, my first experience with Devin Townsend was live. He was Between the Beard and Me, Skill the Summit, Cynic, and Devin Townsend. I'm like, I don't know who Devin is, but I'll go for the other 3 because I love him.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he was more like of a showman. Like he was like, having sex with the guitar, dancing with the guitar, like the whole stage presence. And me and Josh and his father Paul were just like looking at each other. Who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? And he was entertaining. I just couldn't necessarily get into the music. But to the question, Jethro Tull and Opeth, you said?
Yeah.
I think you should change
Your
that
audio
because that's
cut
too much
out.
Opeth.
Well, your audio cut out a little bit.
Can you hear me better now?
Now, yeah.
Porcupine Tree, Grant.
Porcupine Tree or Riverside, Grant asks. I'm going to go for Porcupine Tree.
Porcupine Tree easily.
Same.
I love Riverside.
Riverside is
But Porcupine
Here's my little
Tree
spiel about
easily.
Riverside. Riverside's the kind of band where it's like all the songs sound good, but they all sound the same, and they don't stick in my
Not
mind.
necessarily, because here's the problem. You actually have a lot
That's
of
for
albums that are totally different, because you have
No, I'm saying like
Second
within an
Life
album,
Syndrome.
within one
Yeah,
album, like
I
Second
guess
Life
so.
Syndrome, all the songs are very similar.
That is
And I will
true.
say
Blackwater
that
Park.
I've listened to the albums time and time again, and the songs just do not stick in my mind.
Okay. Here we go. There was another one. Hold on.
Vince said favorite Opeth album before Blackwater Park. For me, Still Life. Easily.
Ghost River is for me.
He said before Blackwater Park.
Oh, before Blackwater
Right,
Park.
Blackwater Park, yeah.
Still Life.
Matthias. I would say Selling England, but just by a bit. I do love Foxtrot, though. That's my second favorite.
He asked Foxtrot or Selling England. I'm going to say
Selling
Foxtrot.
England.
Yeah, Selling
Okay.
England for me.
Selling
Just by a
England
bit,
for me.
though. How much?
Fred says ADHD is the best. I would agree with that.
Yeah, okay.
And then Vince says The Sound of Perseverance or Blackwater Park. For me,
Blackwater Park.
The Sound of Perseverance, I haven't listened to that. Oh, wait, no, by Death.
That's
By
Death.
Death. But
Good
yeah,
album.
that's a good one. That's a good
a good
album. I'll go with Blackwater Park, though. Okay, here we go. This other one, Engelgard or Wobbler. I don't know.
Listen to neither.
Damn it, come on, Ryan.
I don't
Thiago?
know.
Honestly,
Yeah,
for
Engelgard,
me...
I don't know the other one much. Wobbler, I don't know much, but I say for now, just for default, Engelgard.
Okay, this is going to require a little bit of an explanation because I've been
Matthias?
longtime fans of both. All right?
Right.
Is this where we're supposed to be mad at you and being controversial, not supposed to pull the sword out?
No, but I will go ahead and say that I like Wobbler more. Probably because of the fact that, their album called Rights at Dawn, for me it's like their version of Close to the Edge, which, by the way, fantastic record. Rights at Dawn, go listen to it. I find that their new record isn't fantastic, but all of the albums after during Rights at Dawn and before, fantastic. And Engelgard only has 3 albums, which all are fantastic, but I prefer Wobbler just a little bit more.
Okay. We have a couple interesting ones. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish your thought, man.
No, I just said I haven't by just default Angle Guard for me because like I said I haven't listened to Wobbler as much, but I will do.
Right.
Says, all right, here's an interesting one. Be forced to listen to me obsessed with a contortionist or make fun of James LaBrie. I would say the second one, make fun of James LaBrie, because I do it too. I love Dream Theater. I love James LaBrie as a singer on some records.
Wobbler is
some records.
But
yeah, I can make fun of him too.
Wobbler is making a new album, and it might be out by year's end. That's interesting. I'll take a listen to that for sure. One
favorite
other
odd time signature.
Favorite odd time signature.
I like 7/8.
I actually, Ryan, I don't know if I sent you it yet, but Peter Gabriel or Peter Hamill. Peter Gabriel for sure. Peter Gabriel's the stronger vocalist. I love Peter Hamill though. I love Peter Hamill.
I will go with Gabriel.
7/8 or 11/8.
Depending how you divide 11/8, I take that 11/8 over 7/8. Depending how you divide it, though.
That's a fair point.
Why not you play them both at the same time?
No, I'm saying this.
Spicy.
You can do like a straight. If you do like a straight 7/8, it's acceptable up to a point. Because 7/8, if you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know what I mean?
No, because 7/8 you can divide it in a way. Let me just 7/8 you divide it 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Right.
That's when it's cool.
Yeah, it can be like 1 2 3 1 2
or 1 2 3 1 2 1 2.
2 3 4 1 2. Yeah, you can do 4.
Peter Gabriel or Fish, that's the same singer.
I will.
The original's better. Peter Gabriel, the original
better,
is definitely better.
Marco Miniman or Mark Portnoy. Okay, I'm gonna answer this.
I'd say
Marco.
Portnoy just by a bit. Mike Portnoy just by a bit because Marco can be too out there sometimes. Even though I love him.
I like Marco.
Okay, I'm gonna provide my opinion as a drummer. As a drummer myself, I think that I can fairly judge. Here we go. Here's my thing.
Okay.
I can be very fair about this because I know when a bad drummer. I hear a bad drummer when I hear it. For example, Saga has probably one of the worst drummers I've ever heard. Saga,
right?
And like, come on, you got to admit, Steve Negus is probably one of the worst prog drummers ever.
I don't know. John Mayhew's bad.
Oh, John Mayhew is terrible.
I guess.
John Mayhew is bad. He plays the same fill over and over, so I just can't stand him.
No, but guys, we all know who the worst prog drummer is. Bill Bruford. He sucks.
But
he's terrible.
I'll go ahead and say this. I actually agree with both of you.
We've gone on a tangent. So yeah, Marco for me.
I'll go Marco as well. Yeah. I'll go Marco.
Vince says Tool or Carnival. I've only listened to Tool. So
I've only listened to Tool too. So, you know. Yeah.
Carnival is Carnival like a Tool ripoff?
I don't know. Never heard them. Okay, I'm going to provide
I'd say
one.
This, if you say Catatonia, I pick Catatonia any day over Carnival or Tool.
It's okay. They were joking about. It was a joke. Bill Bruford is. We all love Bill Bruford. We all love him.
No.
We all love it. Bill is a fantastic
I said even
drummer.
if he was joking, my man wants some smoke right now.
I'm gonna. Catatonia, great band. I'm gonna go ahead and say this for both of you. I'm not gonna provide my answer because it should be very obvious. But who would you say is the better drummer, Terry Bozzio or Bill Bruford?
We talked about this last night.
Yes, we did.
I'm gonna go Bill. Which is
Bill
hard.
Is
I'm a huge Zappa fan. I'm a huge King Crimson fan. I'm a huge Yes fan. So it's like really tough. I'm a huge UK fan.
Okay.
But I would pick Bill.
Here's what I'll say. Bill Bruford as a band drummer, I prefer him. As a solo drummer, Terry Bozzio can do so much shit. Percussion, fucking Arabic drums, fucking drums. You fucking name it. As a solo drummer, I prefer Bozzio. As a band drummer, I prefer Bruford.
It depends. Depends on the situation. That's what I said. Okay, let's move on to a Q&A.
Wait, we missed one. Oh, Beethoven or Mozart?
Beethoven.
Ooh.
I'll go Beethoven.
I'm not a big Mozart fan. I'm not a big Mozart fan.
The only Mozart pieces that I actually like are the Requiems.
Yeah, those are good. The Requiems are really good. But
All right, question for Ryan. This will definitely be an interesting one to be up there with Grant's questions. Favorite Hermes song? I think Leading the Army, the title track. There was a title track, right? I might be tripping. I don't know.
Anyway,
pretty sure there was a title track. Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
We're gonna go ahead. Oh wait, okay. This is the last one. And then we'll go to a Q&A. Pick your poison: Chick Corea, Bill Evans, Herbie Hancock, or Lyle Mays. I'm gonna go Lyle Mays.
Lyle Mays.
Out of these, Lyle Mays. Yeah.
Sorry. We're all Lyle Mays enthusiasts.
Sorry, Herbie. I love Herbie too, boy. Lyle Mays, man.
Lyle Mays.
Chick,
I love all those guys.
You know why I didn't pick Chick? You know why I didn't pick Chick? Because Chick is a Scientologist.
Chick Corea. Okay, he
well,
okay, Fred.
I love Return to Forever, but Chick's a Scientologist. That makes me
love Return to Forever. His work, Chick Corea's work in Return to Forever is fantastic, but I prefer Lyle mainly because he does have the for one, Lyle Mays has technical chops, and two, his style is beyond the pale.
So here's something interesting. What if I picked all the guitar players in those bands? So let's say Al Di Meola.
Yeah, Al Di Meola.
John McLaughlin. So let's say John McLaughlin, Al Di Meola, Pat Metheny. Oh no, my bad. Okay, what do you want to say?
Lyle's not okay, Fred. You got to be crazy to say that Lyle's okay. You haven't listened to him much, then you're saying he's okay. I'm sorry. Either that or your ear is not that good. Sorry, buddy. But go ahead, Ryan.
Oh yeah, so Lyle's okay. You pick the keyboard players. Let's pick the guitar players for those bands. So
yeah, go ahead.
Who do you like? John McLaughlin, Al Di Meola, Pat Metheny. I don't know who plays for Bill Evans, so let's give those three.
Bill Evans he didn't have a guitar player, unfortunately.
No.
So yeah, it's Al Di Meola, John McLaughlin, Holdsworth, or Metheny. My pick out of those, it would be Al Di Meola.
I'll go ahead and say it's a tie. It's a four-way tie for me. Four-way tie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I would say for me it's Al Di Meola or Holdsworth.
I'm sorry. It's a four-way tie.
To be honest,
that's too hard.
Maybe Pat Metheny.
It's not hard. If you listen to the entire, I have listened to the entire discography of all of them guys. The only one that I'd say is kind of close to Pat is John McLaughlin. Then comes the other guys.
I will.
John McLaughlin, insane, man.
I might have to say Metheny because I like his moody stuff a lot more. But now let's move on.
I would have to say Al Di Meola or Holdsworth.
Let's go to
because they've influenced my style.
Okay, we gotta close this off in about 10 minutes. So let's go to the Q&A. Hit us with some questions.
We were already doing questions, so it's just more.
Well,
questions?
we were doing Would You Rather. We're just doing.
Q&A.
Straight Q&A.
All right.
But is the Q&A more like personal stuff or band related stuff or anything?
Anything.
Matthias, how to play guitar? I could teach you that for $20 an hour. Just hit me up.
Give me your guitar, and I will tell you how to play it, even though I suck at guitar. Favorite Death album? Sound of Perseverance.
Sound of Perseverance for me, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to learn how to play guitar, $20 an hour. Just throwing that out there.
That's actually not bad. Main prog album and jazz album that made you pick up your instrument. Interesting.
Well, for me, prog and jazz were not what I was listening to when I picked up the guitar. So
fair enough.
Yeah, so the album that made me pick up the guitar was The Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden.
Yeah. I think that for me, when it came down to guitar, I was very, very much of a... I started listening a lot to... the one album that got me to play guitar a lot was probably exactly Nursery Crime for me. But I think that for drums, I started listening to a lot of Rush, and I loved Neil Peart. And when I started listening to Rush, and I started listening to them as a serious musician, I picked up the drumsticks because I was a huge Neil Peart fan, and it shows a lot in my drumming, and I think you guys have noticed that I do put a lot of Neil Peart flair whenever I'm doing the cover here and there. A little bit of Neil Peart flair.
Me, I'll say this. I got really serious into guitar I picked up the guitar, to be honest. Like because I said, I think I said this in previous episodes. I had musicians on my side of the family. My uncles, one play guitar, both play guitar, piano, and they listen to some old prog stuff, some old classic rock and roll, classic like folk stuff.
Yeah.
The youngest one of the two listened to more like Beethoven stuff too, classical jazz. My oldest uncle, which is his brother, was more into the classical prog stuff. But the other one's like Chick Corea, Mozart, Beethoven, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was always interested in picking up a guitar. So that's the kind of stuff that kind of like was in the back of my mind. But what made me really dedicate to guitar is Kiko Loureiro and Joe Petrucci.
Oh, yeah.
For progressive stuff. And then, of course, what sealed the deal for me was Pat Metheny. Once I got to listen to Pat Metheny. Because I started listening to Dream Theater Pat Metheny almost around the same time. And I was like, these guys are blowing the hell away from me. That's what made me really dedicate myself, was those three guys. Made me really dedicate to guitar. Then, of course, seeing the other guys, Al Miola, Allan Holdsworth, and so on and so forth. So go ahead.
Vince says, favorite non-prog drummer?
Favorite non-prog drummer? I'll go ahead and say Gary Husband. He's much more of a jazz drummer. He played with Holdsworth a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For me, maybe like Nick Menza from Megadeth.
Not bad. Not a bad pick by any means.
Great drummer. I mean, I don't know much about jazz drummers, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Antonio Sanchez is a beast too. Antonio Sanchez, oh my god.
Yeah. I think that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gary Husband. He influences my playing a lot too. Also, I might have fucked up my story. I did want to pick up the sticks because of Neil Peart, but I think that the one who actually motivated me to get behind the kid was probably Jamie Salazar.
Wow,
Jamie's a beast.
Influence.
Jamie Salazar is probably the best progressive rock drummer who ever lived. He is Phil Collins on speed.
I'd say.
I mean, I listened to him on the on the Flower King record. He was pretty good, but he didn't blow me away.
He definitely will soon. He will. I promise you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matthias said, when should I start learning theory? Like right now. Like always.
I started learning theory, I'd say 2000. Okay, hold on.
Oh, he said, where should I start?
Where should
I
start?
Right now. Right now, for sure.
There's actually an online course that I did. I could send you it. That really helped me with the theory stuff. It's on Coursera. It's free, and I did all the stuff on there, and it goes right at the beginning, and then it goes into more advanced stuff. It's a really great course. Yeah. Books are great too. YouTube as well. A lot of great resources on YouTube.
Okay, so that's great. Oh, damn it.
That's great.
that's great.
Let's
see here. He good for Megadeth. Okay. I picked up bass.
Yeah, but his first band was Sangra. It's not Megadeth. Megadeth, to be honest, is a very low scale for Kiko.
Yeah,
like that. Kiko's in Megadeth for money.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty much.
Definitely.
I will go on the record and point this out. That for me, I think that I've never been a huge Megadeth fan. I find that there are some new. I find that the newer material I actually find is a little bit more my style. A little bit more. I said a little bit more, way too much there. But
a little bit more.
I find that Dave Mustaine's voice when he was young wasn't great. His voice now is way better, but he sounds more like James Hetfield.
I never dug his voice. Yeah, I'll say Megadeth would have been part of a thrash metal band. If Phil would sell more, James Hetfield would have joined it.
Yeah,
the vocalist.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Let's see.
But their music stands up more than most thrash bands. Vince says, would you recommend that course to me if I wanted to make my music even more insane? No, because I think you already know enough theory, Vince. Like, that course wouldn't teach you much from what I've seen.
Yeah.
It's really like a course if, you really want to, learn just general theory.
Right. Do you mean theory I want to learn how to read music, sheet music, stuff like that? Or just, some scales? What does it mean?
I know what Hermes means. Vince just wants to go crazy on the theory, but I don't know what is Matthias. What do you want, Matthias? Like, do you want to be crazy into the theory, or do you have a foundation already? Like, what's the deal with it?
What albums are most controversial for you all? As in, one day it sings and one day you hate it. That's a very good question.
It's a good question, but I never say I would hate an album one day and then just like it another day. I would just say that some albums don't click as much as certain days, and I think bands, especially very eclectic bands like King Crimson, like Gentle Giant, Vandergraaf, Holdsworth stuff, like any modern classical music, you have to be in the right mind for it.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna. So yeah, that's kind of what I would say.
If
any form of very eclectic music.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and put this on the record that the one that I find is the one that's an on and off thing is probably Frequency by IQ. Love the album, however, it definitely has its problems. For example, I mean, I love the fact that it's working with a lot more Steve Hackett guitar work, which I loved which I think that Michael Holmes is best known for. He's a great guitarist who really does try to sound like Steve Hackett in his own original way. But I find that Frequency is probably their it's a weak album in some ways, but it's also extremely strong in other ways. You have to be in the right mood to listen to it. Apparently, according to Fred, he also says that Steven Wilson's The Raven is an album that he has to be in the right mood to listen to.
Okay. Let me answer Matthias's question. How do you understand scales, though? Just how to solo them? Do you know how to create chords by scales? Do you know how to create chromatism scales? Change scales. And I don't mean scales because a lot of people confuse scales and modes. People say, oh, I'm going to use the Mixolydian scale. No, that's a mode. It's a mode of the diatonic scale. The diatonic scale is the major minor scale, right? So do you know how to create different chord progressions using the scales? Because a lot of people just do single notes and whatever, but you can create the scales. Allan Holdsworth does it all the time. And how many scales do you know? Do you know also how to create chords of all those scales? Do you know the octatonic scale? Do you know the harmonic minor, harmonic major? Do you know the melodic minor? Do you know the Neapolitan scale? There's a bunch of stuff that you can know, because you can't just say, I know scales. Like, how many scales do you know? Do you know how they function? Do you know what chords they go into? Do you know how to create chord progressions with them? Do you know how to do, modulation with them as well?
Okay.
There's a bunch of stuff with scales that a lot of people don't cover. But go ahead.
Apparently Fred says that his a jazz album that he has a love and hate relationship with is Off Ramp by Pat Metheny. I love it, but I also have my issues with it as well. What is the most influential foreign prog or jazz album you hear is Italian? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say a jazz album that I have a love and hate relationship with is "Bitches Brew" by Miles Davis.
So true.
That's a weird one. That's a weird one.
Very, very weird.
That's a good one. Definitely.
Yeah, that's
it's like you have to be in the mood for it because it's a little meandery.
It is. Okay, so sung in a different.
I told you I have days where I can listen to King Crimson and days where I can't listen to King Crimson. The days where I listen to King Crimson are also my Miles Davis days.
Yeah, that's fair.
To be honest.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for joining us on this live stream. We all enjoyed it.
We didn't answer the last question.
Oh, go ahead.
Influential foreign prog or jazz album you hear, i.e., Italian, French world jazz, etc.
I will go ahead and
know.
I'll go ahead and say PFM Pro Nemico.
PFM. That's a good one.
PFM for sure.
What's the question again? Most foreign prog jazz album. Okay, well, to be honest with you, it's not necessarily just instrumental.
Yeah.
But also sung by a sung artist. One of my favorite jazz vocalists, a female singer called Anna Maria Jopek from Poland. She sang a lot of Pat Metheny, Pedro Aznar.
Yeah.
She goes into the whole exotic pop jazz to the whole jazz fusion thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She influenced a lot how I build melodies in jazz based on singing, hearing the song. You know what I mean?
Okay.
acapellas, whatever. So
yeah.
that's what like really like.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I can't answer that question. I can't think of anything. But yeah, I think it's a good place to end.
I think that we all had a great time. I have to get going.
All right.
No problem.
I'll see you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. But I think we all had a great time. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this amazing live stream. I had a great time. Moderating this live stream was very fun. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and hopefully this is.
By the way, I'm disappointed. I didn't pull the sword out in this one.
See? Too bad. Oh well. But thank you guys so much.
Now they got something to anticipate.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, share, and subscribe for another episode of Talking Prog. We will see you in the next episode.
See ya.
Bye.
See you guys.